For over a decade, one thing seemed almost impossible in Indian politics. That is, forcing a union cabinet minister in the Modi government to resign under public pressure. Yet that is exactly what happened. Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan stepped down, bringing an end to days of nationwide protest led primarily by students and youth groups. But this story is much bigger than one resignation. Is this the beginning of a new kind of politics in India, or was it simply the government's way of controlling a growing crisis? Let us understand the complete picture in detail. Well, BJP was a government that really backs down. Since coming to power in 2014, the Narendra Modi government has built a reputation for standing firm during controversies. Whether it was opposition protest, parliamentary disruptions or nationwide agitations, resignations have been extremely rare. And that is why Dharmendra Pradhan's resignation has become such a significant political event. It breaks a perception that many believed was unshakable, that ministers in this government do not resign under pressure. But what changed this time? Well, this time they had to face the protest that refused to fade away. Unlike many previous demonstrations, this movement wasn't driven by established political parties. Its backbone was students. Young people frustrated over examination controversies, paper leaks and uncertainty about their future kept the protest alive, both on the streets and online. Instead of giant rallies led by famous politicians, this movement grew through Instagram Reels, YouTube live streams, WhatsApp groups and thousands of ordinary students sharing their stories. And that digital momentum made it increasingly difficult to ignore. And this time it was more than just one minister. At first glance, this may appear to be a story about Dharmendra Pradhan. In reality, the anger was directed at something much larger. For years, students have complained about paper leaks, delayed exams, rising coaching costs and increasing competition for limited opportunities. And every cancelled exam means months of preparation lost. And every paper leak damages trust. And every delay increases uncertainty, and the protest brought all these frustrations together into one national conversation. But why the government changed its strategy all of a sudden? Initially, the government defended its position while several leaders questioned the intentions behind the protest. However, as support continued to grow and the issue gained national attention, the approach gradually shifted. Dialogue replaced confrontation, senior ministers met protest representatives and eventually the government accepted key demands, including Dharmendra Pradhan's resignation, bringing the agitation to an end. For political observers, this showed that public pressure can still influence decision-making when an issue resonates across millions of families. So what is the bigger political message that we can look up to? Well, this episode sends an important message not only to the BJP but to every political party that India's youngest generation is no longer willing to remain silent when its future feels uncertain. And today's students organize differently. They do not always wait for political parties. They build campaigns online. They collect evidence and they communicate directly with millions through the social media platforms. And that changes how politics works. Well, has social media become the new political battlefield? Perhaps the biggest winner in this entire episode was digital communication. Even when television debates focused elsewhere, the conversation continued online. Instagram creators, independent journalists, YouTube channels, student networks, and together they kept the issue alive. And in today's India, political narratives are no longer shaped only inside television studios. Sometimes they begin with a phone camera and spread across the nation within hours. So what could happen next? Well, the resignation may have ended one protest, but it has not ended the questions. That will examination reforms actually happen? Can governments restore students' trust? And will accountability improve? Or will they simply become another political controversy forgotten after a few news cycles? Well, those answers will determine whether this resignation becomes a historic turning point or just a temporary political compromise. Well, Dharmendra Pradhan's resignation is not the end of the story. It is the beginning of a much larger debate about India's education system, youth aspirations and political accountability. And the real test starts now. Because changing one minister is easy, changing the system is much harder. So what do you think? Was this a genuine victory for students or simply political damage control before bigger challenges ahead? Share your opinions in the comment section below and do like, comment and subscribe to the Savera for more updates.